Hey there, and welcome to another exciting episode of Tales from the Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, JB, here, of course, with Jack Hunter. How's it going, man?
Dude, I'm feeling really good. You got me. You got me. you got me. I am impressed, ladies and gentlemen. This is my shocked face because I did not see this new intro. And if you can notice anything different about this, I now have my own graphic. Hello, Samuel. Welcome, brother. Welcome. What's up, Sean? What's up, buddy?
How's it going, Sean? You're right. You do.
Dude, it's insane. And you know what? My mom loves it, by the way. My mom loves it.
She should. It's fucking awesome. And
yes.
Before you continue too much, I want to give a huge shout out to the person who actually did the artwork for us, Raven J, good friend of the show and everything. And I want everyone to go and check out his shop too online. He does a lot of toys and everything else. And it's over there at hidinotoys.bigcartel.com. It's pretty cool, some of the shit the guy has, dude. He has these like really cool Bigfoot keychains, these Loch Ness Monster toys, and he's making them all himself. Like it's really, really cool. Plus, you can get commissioned artwork from him, and as everyone can see, it's pretty fantastic.
like bring it up. Like this does look like me. Like this is it's so like my personality. It's like I'm dead to everyone, but yet I want to talk.
That's true. You are. And Ron says, "Hey, I'm here. What do you know about that?" Hey, Ron. And we got David chiming in too.
Here we go.
Kind of reminds me of those classic movies that have a flashback story. Movies like Sunset Boulevard, Double Identity, The Fly from 1958, the episode Dig that he's real gone, and For Crying Out Loud also have a flashback story. You're right. It's actually kind of typical for Tales to do that. Yeah.
And ladies and gentlemen, if you are drinking at this moment, every single time David pops up with his Google list,
we're gonna start
you take a shot. You take a shot. I wish I could. I got to drive after this, but drink a shot.
Right. And before we also continue, I want to give another shout out to our good friend Justin Cooper, who sent me this really badass Epic Shells hat, some stickers, a pen, and also I got the Fast Forward and the Combat Warrior Donatello characters.
Show them off, buddy.
Oh, yes.
Wait, are you going to take them out the package?
I will take it out of the package. I will. This is the Fast Forward Donatello. It's pretty cool. I love how they still do this. Like, I haven't had Ninja Turtle toys since I was a kid. This isn't something I normally get myself. I'm usually more of a Star Wars fan, but I absolutely love these. And the fact that he actually was able to help me get the Donatello ones is fucking awesome, dude. And hold on, here's the Combat Warrior Donatello, which is definitely my favorite of the two.
Oh wait, no, I there's one of those I had as a kid. I had it's the classic ones. Dude, I'm like, I saw that and I was like, you motherfucker.
I love it, dude. It's really, really cool. And
I'm so jealous. I'm jealous. You know why I'm jealous.
You should be. You should be very jealous. So, everybody, please check out Justin's shows over there. The Epic Tales from the Sewers, as well as the Fantastic Podcast, and I believe Geek Life. So,
and I think you and I are going to be on an episode soon for an episode.
It's a little too early to announce, I think.
Which I don't know anything about. There we go.
Right. And Sean's chiming in. I don't want to kill my liver.
Sean knows it.
Right. David, I know what you meant. And Sean, I'll take the knowledge from David instead. Those Ninja Turtles were so cool.
You know what? Take a shot.
Agree.
There you go. That's Google. That's obviously true. Yeah,
and here's Ron. I gotta say that hormone treatment is going great. For all those who don't know, Jack has been transitioning now for about, what is that, a year or two? Let's see. Yeah, 1 year. 1 year there.
1 year. Yeah.
1 year. 1 year.
Ladies and gentlemen, unlike Ron, when I go pee, I can see my dick.
Oh, that's harsh. Fuck. That is hard. But anyways, we should probably get around to introducing our guest for this week, shouldn't we, man?
We should. Jed, our guest tonight is Jed Brian. We're about to bring him up, but little history. Jed is a longtime friend of Justin and I. He was on our show a couple of years ago called Found Footage Radio for his movie Unlisted Owner. And it's still a kick-ass, movie. So you guys go find it, go buy it, go support this guy. It's a great movie. I've been asking to be in a sequel for over like 3 years or so. I'm still waiting on that phone call that
I'm waiting on you to stop talking.
I've only given him my number, but I've never gotten anything back.
Well, you come off kind of creepy. Anyways, guys.
Ladies and gentlemen, our guest tonight, our friend and brother, Jed Brian.
Hey guys, woo!
How's it going, buddy?
Thanks for having me on.
Oh, dude, thank you for finally coming on. I know you and I have actually been chatting for quite a while, including sharing some drawings that you did of the Crypt Keeper from Tales from the Crypt Keeper, not Tales from the Crypt, the cartoon. Yeah.
I'm saying my fingers crossed you guys will do the cartoon eventually.
You know what? I think
we're going in order. We're going to get to it.
About 2023, we should be there.
All right.
It's gonna take a little while. We got some music to still go through. That's for sure. And don't forget there was the game show too.
Man, yeah, there was a lot.
That's true.
There's a lot.
There's a shit ton.
Right. And I think everyone does believe that Jack is transitioning.
I hate you. Every single person commenting right now. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you. I hate you.
No, that's awesome. So anyways, one of the things I always have to do when we have a newer guest on is ask what got you into Tales from the Crypt.
Ooh.
Well, when I was a kid, I was always kind of too young to really be able to watch it. But I remember going to Spencer's Gifts and they had an actual Crypt Keeper, probably the first animatronic I saw outside of Disney was a Crypt Keeper animatronic at Spencer's Gifts. And, whenever I got older, I got to catch episodes here and there. But when I was a kid, Tales from the Crypt Keeper was, I had the action figures. I still got them. And, I had the zombie figure. I had the Crypt Keeper and the brown robe. I had the one where he's in the suit. So, I had all kinds of, Crypt Keeper figures. So I was a huge fan of the animated series. So that was, kind of my first really getting into it. And then as I got older, I haven't watched probably as many as you guys have, but, I watched a few, here and there of the different episodes and stuff. So I always loved the humor and everything that he had in between each, on the show and stuff. So.
Well, very interesting. That's actually almost completely different from almost anybody else I've ever talked to about.
Oh, really?
Most people got into the show a little bit first and everything, but it's real interesting the fact that you actually went through it, going through the with the cartoon a little bit more.
Yeah.
But it's still really cool. I still enjoy watching the cartoon now. What can I say?
I love they have all the episodes up. Yeah.
Oh, I believe a lot of them are online on Tubi, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, I think YouTube has a bunch of them too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
My favorite episode, honestly, of all time that I still remember watching it on Saturday mornings on ABC was the episode where the fish at the very end, they throw the wallet out there on the dock and the dad picks it up because he's an asshole, and then they pull it, underwater. I thought the whole thing, or no, it was in the fridge or something. They did something really weird, but it was so like I still remember it, like that one scene where he picks it up and like it makes you kind of scared, when you go by a pond. I live in Louisiana, so
Yeah, there you go.
Right. So, anyways,
Cool.
man, what's going on new with you? I'm sorry. I know we tried it before the show and everything, but I still haven't received my copy of 13 Slays, so I can't really comment too much about it personally yet. But I know you just had that coming out and everything, man. So can you tell us a little bit about that and maybe some of the new upcoming projects you have going on?
Yeah, so like 13 Slays, it was kind of funny because, and I'm wearing my this shirt for you guys can. I'm actually going to be posting a link up to be able to order this shirt. The artwork's by Kyle Starks, who did the Rick and Morty comics. So this is Kringle's the Christmas Clown. This is my short in the horror anthology, 13 Slays by Blood Moon Pictures. So my segment we actually filmed right before COVID hit. So like February 26th-ish, 28th, somewhere in there. And like the next week, everything was shut down. So it was pretty hard because there was only 2 of us that actually had our shorts completed. And yeah, it was rough, but everyone powered through, and finally it's out now, which I'm really excited about. Is my son's feature film debut. Him and my wife both have cameos in my segment, so that was kind of cool to be able to direct my wife and son in something. So I got that going on, and then I'm supposed to be doing a fake trailer for 1031. Part 3, so I'm really excited about that. I'm actually getting ready to star in an upcoming feature from Moonlight Films over in Indiana, so I'm excited about that. And then I got some other projects and some shorts and stuff I'm working on, so got some stuff going on. But yeah, I'm keeping busy, really busy.
Wow,
so
that's really cool, dude.
Unlisted owner too, I mean.
Well,
how did I know this was going to get brought up?
Yes.
I mean, it'd be nice to eventually get there, but I don't know how long it'll take to go back to that. But I got some other stuff I'm trying to get done first before I can dive back into that. But we
still need answers. How did he get pulled up? How did he have that strength? Jed,
well, I'll be honest with you. I have a synopsis of how part 2 could go. But yeah, it hasn't made it into to script form yet. But maybe eventually it'll make it there. If someone fingers crossed, maybe someone will contact me and say, "Hey, we want to option this and pay you X amount to make it."
Sorry, I'm catching COVID.
Oh, whatever. Anyways, one of the things I really want to ask you about is you had a short that was released a little while back now. It's called Lost in the Woods.
Yeah.
And I know you said you wrote this one, right?
Yeah, I co-wrote it with the director, Alex Magana. He owns ACM Films based out of LA. So me and him have been, for years, we've been talking about doing something, and we kind of talked back and forth, and he's made, I don't even know, like maybe like 3 feature films. So, and then finally he's like, "Hey, I'm going to make a short." And me and him kind of talked about different things, and the short ended up becoming Smiling Woman, and it went viral, has 3.8 million views on YouTube and stuff. So
holy crap.
Yeah, you'll have to check it out. It's really good. Whenever he was writing the script, me and I kind of gave him a little, like some tips here and there. And then after he had his rough cut, I gave him some tips. So then it moved on to where he started making some different horror shorts. So I wrote a few for him. And so far, 2 of the ones I co-wrote with him have actually he actually made and stuff. One's called Lost in the Woods, and the other one's called Gift Wrap. So be sure to check those out. If you go on YouTube, type in ACM Films and type in Lost in the Woods or Gift Wrapped, it should pop right up. But yeah, so and then we're working on a feature right now. So fingers crossed. We'll,
I am really hoping it's a feature version of Lost in the Woods.
Well,
I will say that right there has been one of my favorite shorts that I've watched in a very long time. It was very well done. I mean, incredible.
Yeah, they did a great job with bringing the whole fear and terror to the screenplay. So I'm very, very proud of it, because there's sometimes where people, whenever they write a script, and especially whenever like you write something, because this is like the first time I've ever written something that I actually didn't do myself, whether it be shoot it, direct it, act in it, or or edit it. So it was kind of interesting to see, like, whenever you're co-writing something with somebody, and then you have a vision in your head, and to see what they create, and whenever it ends up, awesome, it's a great feeling.
That is awesome.
I think that's the best part, Jed Brian. Jed Brian, like, say your full name. No, Jed.
This is right here at the bottom, right here at the bottom.
I got all the professionalism in there, but no, Jed, I you know what, I agree with you. I think as a filmmaker, when you finally see it like on a screen, and you're like, that was right here, and it's an amazing and euphoric feeling to just that's something you thought of is now entertaining people.
Yeah, it's cool. Probably like one of the most gratifying things is something, it's one thing to tell somebody a story, but to be able to actually take your story and be able to have actors portray the parts that you have in your head, and to bring it to life to where everybody can see. It's not like you can just hook up, well, not yet anyways. I mean, Elon's probably working on it, where you can hook up a projector to your head and project whatever you see. Then you won't need anybody. But it's such a cool feeling, because I mean, not everybody gets the opportunity to take their ideas and be able to showcase them to the world. So I feel very blessed and lucky to be able to have had that opportunity. So, but yeah, it's such a cool feeling to set in a theater or set in a room and just watch people's reactions to your art. I mean, whether good or bad, it's just still such a cool, experience to be there.
I sounds like it. Yeah. That's for sure. So, anyways, we had you on, and we were able to get you to watch this episode with us too for this week.
Yeah,
which,
man. I knocked it out last night.
Oh man! Hopefully you enjoyed it.
Oh yeah. I thought it was a very interesting short, and then also I noticed there was an actor that looked kind of familiar in the show. So
quite a few, and we'll be getting to that.
But I will
spoilers.
Yeah, no spoilers. But I will tell you,
I'll spoil the shit out of this.
Yeah, you dirty man. No, I really think that the comic book, when we get there, is better than this one.
It's actually happened quite a few times where that's the case.
Yes, yeah. Like last time.
Before we go ahead and introduce the episode that we're doing this week, I'm going to go ahead and catch everybody up on the comments. So,
great.
Yeah, Sam Knight. Oh, yes, thanks for coming on. I believe that's probably a joke for Jack, probably, knowing Sam always. Yeah. Oh, Jack, don't say that. I love you. And we got David chiming in. The game show was kind of like the show Guts, which used to air on Nickelodeon. Yes, it kind of was. That's for sure. Sean, I love you though, brother. I mean, sister, Jack. Sam, that's it. No room on the door for you. Ron, you'll love him more when he has a vagina, Sam. Oh, God. Jackie Poo. Oh, God. Everyone loves you, Jack.
Yes.
One of my favorite episodes from the cartoon is The Avenging Phantom. And obviously, he's talking about Tales from the Crypt Keeper.
Yep.
Sam chiming in. I tried directing my wife in home films. She doesn't really listen. I'm sure this right here is directed towards you, Jed. Are you referring to Clavon Little? To be fair, like
Jed's reaction was no.
I have a feeling he is probably talking about Dylan, but we will get there momentarily.
Yes.
So this week we are still in season 4. We're on episode 2, This'll Kill You, which is based off the crime suspense stories from issue number 23. And this episode first aired June 27th of 1992, and it was directed by Robert Longo. who actually did quite a bit of stuff, but like all over the place, not just directing. But he did a lot of shorts too. He did one for he did the Peace Cells for Megadeth video. Did some REM videos. You know, he did a little bit here and there. It seems like a lot of these directors that got on Tales from the Crypt at this point in time in the 90s started out doing quite a few music videos, which is kind of cool. This right here was written. Well, the screenplay was written by Gilbert Adler and A.L. Katz, who are extremely famous people known for producing anything anybody ever loved ever. Everything from Superman to Constantine, Ghost Ship, 13 Ghosts, Bordello of Blood, Weird World, Freddy's Nightmare, The Hitchhiker, a personal favorite of mine. I mean, like these are some of the top producers as far as in Hollywood in general, as far as I'm concerned. But then again, Tales from the Crypt kind of attracted some pretty big names when it came to that. Absolutely. And oh yeah. And in this episode, we have, when they have lines above letters, I kind of mess it up. But I think it's Sonia Braga as Sophie Wagner. I hope I am saying that right. And she actually had quite a few roles, and she's actually still filming things right now. Nothing that I've really seen. A lot of TV shows, and I'm pretty sure a lot of it's foreign. So
yeah, she did.
Why?
Was she Hispanic? I
don't know. I did IMBD, unfortunately. Oh well, no, actually it does. She's Brazilian.
That's what.
Yes. And we also have Dylan McDermott in here as George.
That's what I was talking about.
that's a very recognizable face. This dude is in every fucking thing.
American Horror Story, baby. Bam.
Yeah,
that's what
he was in. I think he was in the campaign. I think when
he was in the campaign. Yeah. Oh, that was a good one. That was classic. Yeah, he didn't make Louisiana or the South look too good, but it was funny.
Well, sometimes the truth doesn't look the greatest. So, anyways, we also had Clavon Little in this as Pac Brightman. Unfortunately, I believe this was the last role he had before he passed away, and he's probably most famously known as Bart in Blazing Saddles.
Okay, yeah.
So he's a pretty big name. He was also in Once Bitten, which is a pretty fun vampire movie.
Hey, can we do a thing where we quote Blazing Saddles? Let's do it right now. Come on, let's go.
This is a Blazing Saddles show.
Someone needs to go back and get a bunch of dimes.
I don't know if we could appropriately. I don't know how long we can quote this movie before the show's canceled. To be fair.
Oh God, great movie.
Yeah, we also had Scott Williamson in this as Sergeant Murphy and Rick Aiello as Marty. Both of which have done quite a few things, that's for sure, but mostly just one-offs on TV shows and things like that. But anyways, I guess to go ahead and jump right into this episode. Well, hold on, we got David chiming in again. Hopefully people are drinking to this. You guys are going to be drunk before we get done with this episode.
Straight gone, you're done.
Mary Lambert, who had directed the episode Collection Completed, had directed several Madonna music videos. I was gonna say Madonna music videos. Yeah, I definitely remember talking about that when we did that episode. That's Collection Complete is probably one of my favorite episodes. I don't know. I love the whole idea of the end twist of the person being taxidermied. But maybe that's. What?
Which season was it?
Season 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's definitely an older one. But to go ahead and actually get into this episode, it opens up with a man dragging a body into a police station, and we soon find out that it's George, and he's what was the line he says or whatever? I've been murdered, and this is my murderer. And shortly after, we go into a flashback, kind of giving an entire story about what's going on leading up to this point, and we find out that I don't think he's a scientist, but he's working with these scientists, and they're developing this thing called the H cell. And right away we see that one of the scientists is he kind of has a thing for her, obviously, but she also does his yeah, this is going to be a real interesting conversation.
Let's go.
I see what you wanted to do to the comic book this time.
I didn't have a choice.
I'm sorry.
No, Jed, I did say I'm doing the comic book. Send me them now. I'm doing it.
But so we end up finding out that one of the scientists who he has this connection with, obviously, is the person that's also giving him like his insulin doses, which he does at work, which is kind of odd too, because I'm pretty sure you have to do that like all around the clock, not just at work. I don't know how he does it all the time. They never go that far, but
and a HIPAA violation because
there's cleanliness issues there too. Like I didn't see anything hypodermic.
6 feet.
For sure.
6 feet.
But well, it is what it is. But right away we end up meeting one of our scientists, Clay Von Little, and he is his name's Pack in this episode, and he's pretty upset about an article that was written by George. And in this article, we end up finding out that he's kind of lying to people to pretty much get more funding to bring the project together. And they don't really, show if he's having money issues or anything like that, but just, I guess, trying to hurry up and bring more money in and rush this project out. And shortly after that, and just pissing everybody off, we have like one of the most uncomfortable scenes that I've seen on Tales from the Crypt. I'm not even gonna lie.
JB. What happens during this scene?
Do you?
You know what? Right. Here we go, everyone. Here it is. Right. Solo layout. Explain this scene. Right. I'm ready.
Okay, so we have this whole bar scene where George is getting really, really close to Sophie, and it's kind of uncomfortable, and she's kind of pushing him away, trying to just keep distance and everything. And I guess after this whole, not really an altercation, but obviously it's very odd for her. She's not feeling comfortable with it, but she ends up going home. She's getting ready for a shower, and he just walks in, and kind of just like it gets really fucking rapey. Like that's about like the
what is said.
Well, that's we're gonna get there. So, okay. They end up like getting really close to each other. He's like kind of telling her what like that she wants this and things like that, and she ends up pushing him down and then kind of getting on top of him, and he's telling her that she's a good girl and to play nice, and it kind of leads into sex, which ends up being consensual at the end, but with like some really, really heavy rapey vibes in the beginning.
And since JB said that, I'm gonna say what really, as adults, I think what really happened when you see through it is that was their thing. I think that was their kinky.
Don't try to justify that.
No, but
don't try to justify.
I'm just trying to help you.
That's not
damn. My bad.
Right now. So. Anyways, after this, she's starting to get a little upset, and we also end up finding out that she's actually the person who gave her the key, gave him the key. Mm-hmm. So, like I said, going back to the beginning, there's obviously a past history there between the two. Now, with that being said, she's getting upset that he's leaving. Not like super pissed off or anything, but you could tell the emotion there and everything.
That's why I said what I said.
Oh, whatever, Jack.
Role playing. Hello. It's a
whatever.
Thing.
Okay. So we end up getting our next scene is pretty much them going back to the lab and everything. And they're getting ready to give George his next shot of insulin. And this time we see Pack actually going and loading up the syringe, and Sonia comes by and, pretty much makes it clear that she is completely cool sticking it to him. And she goes over, gives him the shot, and as she's giving him the insulin shot, Pack is screaming, "No, don't do it. It's the wrong one." And they claim that he got accidentally injected with the H cell, which has no antivirus whatsoever, no cure, no nothing, no way to fix this whatsoever.
Bye-bye.
And in the process, he's supposed to be, I guess, growing tumors all over his body, and it's going to lead to his death is kind of where they were going with it. They have no way of shutting these H cells off is how they end up explaining it. And with this, he ends up starting to get sick, and you can tell he's kind of like going through the obvious crisis of, like, oh shit, I'm dying or whatever. So he goes out and, he's just sitting around just looking at everything. And we get like a small montage scene. And then he goes to the bar and he's trying to get a hold of Sonia. Now, while he's doing that, he ends up talking to Marty, the bartender, and he lets him know that earlier he saw Sonia and Pac there, and it looked like they were celebrating at the end of the bar. So I already put that up, Jack.
I didn't do that.
I don't know. I didn't do it either.
Dude, my hands are right here. My mouse is over there.
That's
It
weird.
was not me.
That is weird. But so with this being said and them having this issue, he's starting to get like really, really upset, and he goes out looking for Sonia. And as he's looking for her, he goes and obviously checks her apartment. And at the same time he's checking, the phone just happens to start ringing and goes to voicemail. And we hear Pac on the other side talking about how he feels guilty about what they've done and everything. And, you get the vibe that, this was all done on purpose is kind of what it's, looks like to George at least. So then George goes to the lab, and not only just goes to the lab, but goes there with the fucking baseball bat. And before he's able to get any real explanation out of Pac, he pretty much just says, "Oh, I already know what you're doing," and everything, and just smokes him across the face with a bat, which, wow, did that fucking look good. Like right there. But, and then as, Pac's getting ready to start speaking a little bit more, he ends up bashing his head in again. And then that's when we get our flashback going back to him at the police station, because after that, that's when he killed him. And shortly after that, we got Sonia jumping right into the police station and then giving us like pretty much all the exposition there that this was not what happened, that Pac actually found a cure for everything, but they didn't inject him with the H cell thing at all. What they did was they doctored his insulin so that he would get a little bit sick as a way of teaching him a lesson for, pretty much publishing out lies in press conferences to try to get more funding. And it ended up causing Clavon Little's death, which unfortunately, that might have been the real cause of death. He died that year. That might have really happened. We're going to just pretend that this story really happened. But that pretty much wraps up the entire episode, dude.
And you failed to mention, like, through, like, it's you kind of explained it in the end, but through this episode, like, this guy, in the beginning was like kind of like a pompous asshole. Like, he was
I think that's pretty clear when you're lying. Yeah. When I started off by stating that he's lying to get more funding, like, you clearly get this image of the type of person that would do that in your head, and it's never a legitimate person. So that is pretty much the basic episode walk down of this episode. So Jack, you did the comic book. I will say that I read it as well. So
so I have this of you can't really see, but
no, you can't. But
why
don't you go ahead and just tell us the differences, man?
Okay, the difference is, so in the comic book, starting off, the guy's head he brings in is like pouring with blood. Like, you just see a little bit of blood in this episode in the beginning, but it's like you see his brain matter out in the episode. I mean, in the comic. In this, it was a white guy. His friend, like, everyone was he was white, but it was also probably the times. It also goes into he's actually throughout the comic, he's telling, the flashback is him telling the cops what happened, instead of us, just seeing it. In this episode, in this comic, the friend's name is Joe, not George, and he's actually praising Vic, which is the character in this one, the pompous guy in the episode, and Joe's like praising him constantly for his good doings and everything else. The way, it starts off right off the back. Joe accidentally falls and injects him with the syringe. So
10 cc's, and there's a pretty big difference there of what he gets injected with. To be fair.
God, you want to? I
the
forgot.
Black Plague.
Yeah, the Black Plague. I thought they were comparing it to the Black Plague.
No, he got injected with it's
so
a strand of the Black Plague.
Yeah, strand of Black Plague. And in the comic, there's like more assistants. They're all guys. There's no girl to be seen whatsoever until like very end, which is just nothing. And like everybody's like freaking out. Joe, the guy who, the guy who injected it is really feeling bad. Like he's given this whole, like you're my best friend. I'm sorry I'm doing it. He's feeling super guilty. He had more heart. The main guy that got injected, he had more heart in this comic book. He complained more and pitied himself, like because he was best friends with Joe, the guy that injected him. So he was feeling super bad for him because he was going to go to jail for murder and all this stuff. But towards the end of that, like realizing like he becomes more optimistic, like we're going to get through this, we're going to get through this together. We're going to do good. And then he goes to try to find Joe, and Joe calls him and tells him over the phone that it wasn't an accident and that he did it on purpose and he hopes he dies. I'm talking like some really like fucked up shit, like make you want to go kill somebody, honestly. Which is what really happens. You realize that Joe becomes the real asshole throughout the whole thing. Vic goes on a search like for a couple days because it was in March, and like with the Black Plague, with the virus that they say in the story is that it takes like a day or two to get it. So it's at the very end of March, and in the next day you're gonna die. So he actually kills him with a microscope, not a bat, like in the episode. And then it cuts to pretty much the scene with him in the police station, but there's no girl to come in and say, "Hey, this is what happened." What happens?
No love interest at all in this.
Yeah, nothing, no sex, nothing. And then the cops go search the body, and they find a note. And basically, you find out that with the dates that in the comic book, it's a letter to Joe or not Joe, to Vic, stating, "Hey, we wanted to pull a prank on you, blah blah blah." And with the dates lining up, he said, "Joke's on you. Look at the date." And the very last slide is he looks up and it's April 1st. The whole thing was an April Fool's joke.
Yeah, pretty fucked up. But before we get to our thoughts on everything and what we thought about the differences there too, we're going to take a small commercial break, and I guess we'll be back in just a minute, guys.
Are you a fan of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comic books? Then Epic Tales from the Sewers is a podcast for you. We cover the comic books, video games, movies, cartoons, and anything else turtle related. We talk about the toys, we talk about the cereal, we talk about all the fun things about turtles that we love so much. So give a listen. You can find us on iTunes, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more. Check out Epic Tales from the Sewers, part of the Epic Airways podcast. Give a listen, dudes. Cowabunga is this podcast for you.
Greetings! We are the Retro Reductopus Cephala Podcast, a bi-weekly show that celebrates all the things that made growing up awesome.
He's right. We wax philosophic about lots of geeky crap like old video games and movies, toys, cartoons. I don't know, help me out here.
Music. Pants. Quoting video games that don't have dialogues. Shabibans. Tasty news.
Unnecessarily long Japanese onomatopoeia.
Butt breathers. Uncomfortable nature facts.
Or how to install a thermoflange.
And unlike all those other podcasts, we at Retro Redoctopus have an exciting rotating host schedule.
Do we?
We sure do. So, if you didn't like the guy flapping his gums this week,
like me,
worry not, gentle listener. Next week we'll have a whole new host.
Of problems.
Hey, they might still suck, but they'll suck differently.
And you know what's really cool? Retro Redoctopus is part of the Dorkening and Inebriar podcast networks, with new episodes every Tentacle Tuesday.
Which is like every other Tuesday. We named it.
Anyways, you can listen to us at iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Stitcher, or any podcast player cool enough to carry the only show that celebrates all things that make growing up awesome.
Everything about our food is changing. The way we cook it, the way we eat it, and the way we share it. And that's why I'm encouraging you to come and check out Pardon My Fork. Conveniently packaged in hour-long episodes and available anywhere you find your favorite podcasts and at pardonmyfork.com. We are talking to home cooks, chefs, Food Network stars, and world food champions. So cleanse your palate and come and get a heaping helping of Pardon My Fork.
Hello, this is the Sasquatch, aka Bigfoot, but you can just call me Frank. And when I'm not stomping around the woods throwing rocks at hunters, I like to listen to the Paranormal Punchers podcast. That's right, Paranormal Punchers. They talk about all things paranormal, and they're hilarious. Go find them on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, Google Play, and paranormalpunchers.com.
Submitted for the approval of the Midnight Society. A whole new season of spine-tingling.
For the first time in We're Not Afraid of the Dark history, we're actually going to watch a erotic scene
together. Just a couple brothers watching porn together. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, on air right now. This is the biggest plot hole I saw this, by the way. How in the fuck does she take him back in town for
But she made it a point to bump him. But no, I agree.
How do you not catch this?
I was drunk when I watched this.
Whoa, so were we. Yeah.
But yeah, there's just this giant fucking board right here ready to lock down.
Like it has hooks that you latch the fucking door to lock it.
She is on Mr. Skate Up, I'll link in the show there. She just and she's listed as great nudity. She's a red-haired girl. They say she has great natural tits.
See?
You seen her black people in this episode?
I like how she's exercising while eating it, and then she's in the bathroom taking a shit, reading the story, and the plate's on the floor.
And this is also the first episode where our main characters aren't just a bunch of generic white kids.
Trick or Treat Radio is a phantasmagorical spin kick straight through the heart of pop culture, navigated by the Deadites. We are the world's greatest electroshock band, we destroy monsters, we drink booze, and we win championship belts. If you're not listening to Trick or Treat Radio, here's a taste of what you've been missing. There's 3 guarantees in life. What are they?
Death, taxes, and Trick or Treat Radio every Friday morning.
This is one of the most convoluted movies I've ever seen in my life.
I'm fucking trying, man.
Hey.
Oh, yeah.
Hey.
Oh, yeah. It's like you took a shit on a pile of shit.
But you shit on him for liking what he likes.
Yeah, well, it's my job.
This podcast is now banned in Germany.
It's me, Giovanni Lombardo Radici.
Shut up. I call bullshit. I demand someone to bring me the face of Lindsay Lohan.
If I had genitals, I would definitely bang her.
Oh, wait. Is she a great big fan person?
You just hit the jackpot.
This is a weird movie, huh?
It had action, it had suspense, it had great characters, it had great acting.
I'm gonna strangle you with my jockey shorts.
I don't like mobster movies.
Alright, well here's my take. You're a sick fuck.
Thank you. Now shut the fuck up and let me talk.
Have you ever seen 2001?
The box, right? The box and the monkey.
Available on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, and trickortreatradio.com.
Arrivederci, douchebag.
And welcome back to this exciting episode of Tales from the Podcast.
You know, Justin. Okay, our viewers were going up. We were sharing stuff. I think that last commercial should. I don't know, man. I don't want. Oh,
you know, it is what it is.
I love them. I love Trick or Treat. They're awesome. Thank you. Sorry, go ahead.
Right. So, anyways, we've already talked about the episode "This'll Kill You," and Jack already gave us our comic book comparison to the original 1950s source material. So, we're going to talk a little bit about our thoughts on it and give it a rating between 1 and 10 and see where we all fit in there. So, Jed, since you are a guest this week, man, why don't you go ahead and lead us off? Tell us what you thought about it and give us a little bit of a rating if you don't mind.
So for the show, like you said, I think there is a little bit of some loopholes in that because, I mean, if he would have, you know, like the whole injecting thing, like insulin, you know, he would do it throughout the day, especially when he says he doesn't like needles. So it doesn't really make that much sense. I mean, there are some plot holes in it, but the acting was really solid and I mean, it was entertaining, but, I would say if I had to give it out of 10, I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10.
That's pretty fair. I think that's about right where it sits on IMDb too. So.
Yeah, and then I haven't read the comic, but from what you and Jack both said, I mean, I think I probably would have enjoyed it more to have seen them actually take the comic and make it into that. I mean, you know, I feel like the comic source material, it seemed very intriguing. I'll definitely have to try to check it out because I feel like they could have maybe left it alone a little bit, which, Hollywood tends to do that with some things.
Right. It's every one of them tends to be a little bit different. This one was a little bit more different than some of the others. Believe it or not, there's quite a few where they're like almost fucking spot on.
There is. Yeah. There's been a couple like the whole the one we did with Josh Knowles with the one episode that was like freaking 45 minutes long. The Warrior the war one from last season.
Right. So anyways, Jack, what did you think about this? Why don't you give us your rating?
I am going to give it let's see. Let's talk, ladies and gentlemen. This was a very special episode. A lot of crazy things happened. I think that there really wasn't like more effects other than, the blunging of the head, which was badass, and how they did it. I really would have loved to see the yes, David, again with the save. Yellow. Yes, you got it. Everyone take a shot. You should probably be partially done by the tequila bottle by now. See Sam's on it. So I really enjoyed it. I loved the twists. And I'm gonna go with Jed. He said, he did say a 6, but if it would have been straight from, the comic and source material, I would have given it like an 8.9. But because they didn't do it, I'm gonna go with a 6 as well.
That's pretty fair, man. That is. I guess we'll go ahead and get into my ratings on it. Overall, I actually really like this episode. I didn't think it was, I guess I'll get to my rating in a second, but like the special effects that they had there for the, getting hit in the head with the bat, all the blood, I thought that was fucking amazing. I thought they did a really, really good job, especially for, the 90s and everything. And then I think the cast that they had for this was definitely like an all-star cast. I mean, you got some pretty good names there, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, the acting was fucking amazing. And like I got a feeling that like not so much Jed, but more Jack, especially on this one. I think Jack's only giving it a 6 because we're going from the episode Tom Hanks directed to this episode, and there's a huge gap there with how that one was done. And that was a pretty good episode, and I think he has it in his mind and comparing it to that one a little bit more. But I'm gonna have to say this is like a 7. Like this isn't that bad. Obviously, if they would have stayed truer to the comic book, I think it would have been a lot more fun. I like the idea of them getting rid of the love interest, and they didn't really have a need to throw that whole rapey scene in there, other than the fact that they were HBO in the 90s and they felt the need to really show boobs on everything, which wasn't really part of the original source material. And other than that, though, I'm going to have to go ahead and say, a solid 7, though. It still wasn't a bad episode. That's for sure. So that's fun, though. I suggest everyone check it out. That's This'll Kill You from season 4. And Jed, dude, thank you once again for coming on, man. It's always fun to have new people on here, and especially talk about Tales from the Crypt, dude. And
for sure.
Dude, yeah, it's a total blast. So
yeah, man. I'm excited. If you want to have me back on sometime down the road, I'm more than happy.
Getting ahead of yourself.
Would you like? Would you like? I am looking for a new co-host soon. So.
Well,
yeah, right. So, anyways, man, can you tell everybody where they can find you and check out everything that you've been doing?
Yeah, if you want to check out Unlisted Owner, you can. Right now, we're in between distributors, but if you go to makeflix.com, you can get a Blu-ray or DVD copy. You can also get signed copies on there. Also, if you go to on Facebook, if you check out Unlisted Owner, you can give our Facebook page a like. Sorry, someone was trying to come in the door. It's kind of creepy. I don't know
and the doorbell.
Oh my gosh.
Unlisted Owner, and it goes, hey.
But
great product placement there.
But yeah, if you go on Facebook and type in Unlisted Owner, be sure to like the Unlisted Owner Facebook page. And then also you can follow me on Twitter at Mr. Jed Brian. And you can also follow me on Instagram at Mr. Jed Brian. So, and then you can also Google me, I guess, if you can't remember. Or
I'm only gonna Google you now.
I guess
just Google me.
Right. My new Twitter is Miss Jacqueline. As you assholes tonight. Oh my God. Jed, thank you for being on our show, brother. We're gonna drop you down. You can stay in a green room for a little while, and we will be there shortly.
All right.
All right, man. We'll talk.
Thanks
to you
everyone for tuning in.
Thank you, man. We appreciate you, dude. That's for sure. So, man, that was a pretty fun episode. I always love talking Tales from the Crypt, especially when we have somebody like Jed on. That's for sure.
Absolutely, and I love watching you cringe because it's amazing. And I love it.
To be fair, this one kind of touched some issues that were a little fucking awkward to talk about, you know.
Yes, I do agree, and I don't condone any of the actions in this episode. They honestly could have done without it. You know, everybody has their thing, but rape, it's not a fun thing to even joke about or see.
Well,
So,
you're right, and the fact that it was actually added in instead of like something in the comic book, like that kind of really took away from it after you get a chance to read the comic book. But before we go, let's catch up on some of these comments, dude. We got Sam Knight, 6 out of 10. Good episode, and thought there was a bit lame for Tales from the Crypt. In my opinion, they could have done better. Seems like everybody's around a 6 out of 10. David with his yellow. Sam, yes. I agree the cast was great, just needed more thought in the writing. And Sam says, "Ooh, pick me, Jack." And don't worry, he has a key after they make out and give. Yeah, it's still really uncomfortable. There's no arguing that, dude. That's for sure. So, do you have anything that you want to add before we go ahead and start to wrap this bitch up, dude?
Well, yeah. I mean, check out Justin and I's. We JHP. Find Jack Hunter Productions. Obviously like our page, Tales from the Podcast, and join our group. Also check out this new band I found, and they're called Seven, and it's SEVVVEN, 3 V's, and they are really good. They're from here, from Louisiana, and I had a blast with them last night, and I've been rocking their stuff. Also, Stella Veer, STELLAVIR, great music. And just check our pages for updates on upcoming projects, and stay here. And with that being said, Justin.
Well, I still gotta say a couple.
Oh, damn!
We got Sam here.
Damn you! I'll do it tonight. Right. Just tell me.
No, you won't. But anyways, I also want to go ahead and once again tell everybody, check out Raven J over at HighDinoToys.BigCartel.com. Check out some of the things he's putting out. I mean, he has some pretty killer work. Also, check out Epic Tales. Justin Cooper's doing an amazing job with all his stuff, and thank you once again, buddy. And also, I want to throw out there our buddy Pickaxe Preacher, Mike Williams over there with that awesome fucking metal band over there out of Detroit, fairly close to me. They got a show coming up March 20th at 7 p.m. at the Diesel Concert Hall in Detroit, over there on 23 miles. So everybody, if you're in the area, go check them out. Fucking awesome music. Check them out on YouTube. Give them a sub. And hey, Jack.
What?
We also got to announce that next show.
Yes.
You guys want Crypt. We got Sean Smithson joining us as we are going to be doing Monster Dog. So check that out next week with myself, as well as Chuck Nasty and Sean, as we talk about this fucking fun movie with the great Alice Cooper.
One of these days you're gonna have to get me on with our friends. Like we are literally all a group of friends that mess with each other on Facebook. You know what? I will try to tune in and give you guys as much shit as possible if I can.
That's fair. But with that being said, the crypt is closed.
Thanks for listening, kiddies. You're all a scream.